Good morning, dear hearts. We are on lesson 333. Please subscribe. Today in the United States happens to be Thanksgiving Day. It's a day of gratitude. Gratitude and love go hand in hand in A Course in Miracles. There's a lovely quote that I've used before. Gratitude to God becomes the way in which he is remembered, and for love cannot be far behind a grateful heart and thankful mind. And let us have grateful hearts and thankful minds today, every day, but today. We will begin in our relevant thought of what is the ego. I'm going to start with the fourth paragraph. I'm not going to read the first three today, but I'm going to take the fourth paragraph, and I think it flows very nicely into today's actual lesson. So in the fourth paragraph, it says, to know reality is not to see the ego and its thoughts. And, our relevant central thought is, what is the ego? So is to not see the ego and its thoughts, its works, its acts, its laws, and its beliefs, its dreams, its hopes, its plans for its salvation, and the cost belief in it entails. To know reality, to know what is real and what is true, we must release our belief in the ego and all of its machinations, because the ego's idea of salvation is death. And that is not what we know to be the truth. That is not what our Father wants for us. Back to the paragraph, in suffering, the price for faith in it, in the ego, is so immense that crucifixion of the Son of God is offered daily at its darkened shrine, and blood must flow, because the altar where its sickly followers must flow before the altar where its sickly followers prepare to die. Way back when, it can be but myself that I crucify. I crucify myself every day, that I deny my truth. I deny that I am indeed the sinless, guiltless, perfect child of God. Every time I deny my purpose, my function, my reason, my goal, I am crucifying myself by allowing the ego to overtake my mind. And for that very small part of my mind that has paid allegiance to the ego, I'm allowing that part, that small, minuscule part, to be in charge. I am ready, we are ready to let the ego go. And as we've been told, and I've said it recently several times, what the text has told us is that really it's not difficult to let go of the ego. We merely stop paying attention to it, because without constant allegiance, without constant feigning to it, to go to the ego and welcome it and to laud it with praise, the ego cannot survive. So when we simply decide that I have nothing to give to the ego, because the ego has nothing to give to me, and I'm turning away from it, I am going to simply, philosophy of Frozen, let it go. And when I let it go, it will be gone. I cannot support the ego and know the truth of who I am. There's going to be a decision, but the power of that decision is mine to make. Now, I'm just going to go to our two previous lessons, because we're going to see this beautiful progression from Tuesday? What was it? No, this is Thursday. So Tuesday, Wednesday to today. So there is no conflict, for my will is yours. And fear binds the world, forgiveness sets it free. Fear diminishes the world, contracts the world. Forgiveness expands the world. Forgiveness ends the dream of conflict here. And there is no conflict, because my will is God's. And without doubt in my mind, there's no conflict. Conflict is the resolution of all of the doubts that I have had, because now conflict is gone. When I am sure, when I am certain, because my Father is certain, when I come into that space of certainty within the awareness of my holy mind, there's no more conflict. There's no room for it, because God and loving thoughts have taken up all this space within my mind. There's no room anymore for fear. Forgiveness ends the dream of conflict here. Conflict must be resolved, resolved. As I say every year, if you've been hanging out with me, you know I love that word, and I break it down to resolved. It's been solved. We're going to solve it again. The reason it's been resolved, already solved, is because the moment there was a problem, the answer was given. And so the conflict must be resolved, meaning really that we must see that it has been solved, it has been eradicated. Conflict cannot be evaded, set aside, denied, disguised, seen somewhere else, called by another name, or hidden by deceit of any kind. If it would be escaped, there is lawn work outside. If conflict would be escaped, it must be seen as it is, where it is thought to be, in the reality which has been given it, and with the purpose that the mind accorded it. We must become aware. Where is that conflict? Where did it come from? Why am I perpetuating it? Why am I giving it life? But when I can see it, when I become aware of it, because remember, the first step to shift and change is the awareness of the problem, the awareness that something is not right here, that there has to be a better way. I'm ready for a change. Until awareness happens, change cannot. The conflict would not be resolved. So where I think the conflict is, and in the reality that I have given that conflict, and with the purpose that I assigned the conflict to, for only then are conflict's defenses, and the ego is here, the defenses of the ego lifted, and the truth can shine upon it as it disappears. The truth, the light of God, the light that we are, will shine upon that conflict, those ego thoughts, and they will simply disappear, because the darkness cannot live in the light. We know that in this world. I go into a dark room, a darkened room, and I put on that light switch, and all the darkness has disappeared, because the darkness cannot maintain itself in the light. The second part of today's lesson is the prayer, and it says, Father, forgiveness is the light you choose to shine, the light you chose to shine away all conflict and all doubt, and light the way for our return to you. No light but this can end our evil dreams. And as I've said many, I don't like the word evil. I would assign it that this no light but this can end our mistaken dreams, our ego dreams, our small-minded thinking dreams, our conflicted dreams. But I don't really want to rewrite the course. I just am not fond of that word. And I don't think it's the only one that can be used. So no light but this can save the world, for this alone will never fail in anything, being your gift to your beloved Son. God's light is one of the many gifts. Now there's birds outside. It's a lovely day. God's light will shine away all conflict and allow the beauty and the grace and the radiance and the brilliance of our Father to come forth and to light up everything in this world so that it can be seen as it truly is. and we can see ourselves as we truly are. We are the light of the world, and forgiveness will end every dream of conflict in our minds now, here, now, here and now. And that's it for today. I hope you have a lovely day, a beautiful celebration. If you are with family, there is always family around you, and even if you can't see them, and you are loved exactly where you are, as you are. So please like, share, and subscribe. Please smile. Please breathe. Please allow your light to shine on everything today. Namaste.